A very good evening, everyone. So today we'll be having a session on the customized invoice templates in our RealBooks. So currently we have a general template which comes predefined in our RealBooks whenever we are posting any sale inventory transaction or any accounting transaction. We are getting one default template. So for example, if I go to reports, accounts, daily reports, and daybook, and if I click on search, there are a few sale entries which is pre-booked in the system. So I will just quickly click the generate invoice option over here. And we get few multiple invoices which is predefined in the system like GST service invoice, GST tax invoice, and GST export invoice. And accordingly, all these details are reflecting. And as per our convenience or requirement, we can just click on the selected template and click on generate invoice. So over here, for example, if I click the place as Kolkata, terms and conditions like immediate or probably terms and conditions T and C applied. And then comes subjects to jurisdiction would be like West Bengal. And the payment terms as, say, suppose 10 days. And the name as is the number of copies 1. So the name of the copy would be original. And now if I click on generate invoice, one predefined invoice automatically generates from the system with all these details. But now I want few customizations or colors in my template for which I will always reach out to the support team. So to eliminate or to help you out with the features of coloring or the design, we have predefined customizable invoices from generating right from the RealBooks financial module. So how do we do that? So I'll quickly close these icons. And there is an option under the settings menu, which is as customize invoice. So since I'm already logged in as my admin user, I get this option as predefined as customize invoice. So for example, if you want to get this option in your user master, then you need to create the permission or give the access from the permission master, which I'll quickly show. For example, there is a username as all access enterprise. If I come to the miscellaneous option, I will be getting the options of customize invoice. If I give this permission from the permission master and assign it to a specific user, that particular user will be able to access this option of customize invoice. Now let's click to the customize invoice option. So as you can see towards my left panel, there are options coming up as credit note, invoice, sale, and sale return. So there are a few general predefined invoice or the templates which is reflecting over here. As an example, I will be picking one of the templates like in my sale panel. If I see there is one template which looks somewhat like this. This is the sample, the way it will be reflecting. So it's reflecting over here this way. In case if I don't want the green color, I want some different color. It's apart from the green color. Probably I want some yellow color. So I just simply can come to the color palette, give the colors, click on OK. Automatically, my color will change as per my preference. So if I want to make any changes in the heading color, so let's make few changes as like this. And if I click, automatically my heading color also gets changed. Like if I will give some, probably, yeah, these are the colors which will be reflecting. For example, this is the color. Now heading color, it's not appropriate. If I make few changes like this and click on OK. So the table font colors, let's make some darker colors like this. And if I want to make some background color changes, yeah, okay. So this way I have just customized my invoice colors and the patterns as per my requirement. And now if I'm supposed to save, I can simply click Now I've selected the template selection, which template I want to select. There are a few more templates which you can select as per your convenience. And now in the template details, what all option would you like to have in your pop-up part, the where I was updating the subject to jurisdiction and all those details. So for example, first of all, I need to define under which voucher type I want this template to get generated, because one template can be assigned to one specific voucher type at a time. So I am selecting the voucher type as sale. Now over here, the template name, I will be updating it as dynamic sale template. And the number of copies, a predefined number of copies over here, I'm updating it as 2. So the moment I click on 2, automatically 2 option reflects over here that what all would be the predefined number of copies template name would be. First one, I am updating it as original. And the other one, I am updating it as duplicate. So in my terms and conditions, as you saw when I was updating the terms and conditions in my pop-up, I don't want that each and every time when I'm entering any entry, I am supposed to update the terms and condition individually. So there are a few predefined terms and conditions which we always ask we have been asked to update in our templates, which automatically reflects on our pop-up. In case if some minor or minute changes are required as per the entry specific, then the user should be allowed to do that. So for example, over here, I'm giving the predefined terms and conditions as T and C applied as per the company norms. So this is the predefined terms and conditions which I'm trying to update it over here. And now I'll click on save. So my template got saved successfully. So once my template got saved successfully, I can always view them in my tag template option, which is reflecting over here. The template name that I updated was dynamic sale template, and the voucher type that has been assigned against this particular template is sale. So now let's quickly go to reports, accounts, daily reports, and ledger. Sorry. We'll be directly going to the daybook because over there I can find all the sale entries that I require. And if I click on sale. So let's open the sale entry. What all details I have captured over here, just quickly let's run through it. So this is the sale entry that I updated. This was my general over here. I've given the sale ledger, party ledger, then the item details. 3 items are over there, against which only against one item I've updated the GST. And that's all for the template. So I can either click from my daybook as generate invoice. Now, previously, when I was opening the pop-up, I was getting 3 options of general templates that was tax invoice template, the export invoice template, and all those details. Now, those general templates got replaced with the one that I want my system to reflect or show on the pop-up. So the one which I updated or customized by myself was the dynamic sale template. And these are all the pop-ups. I will be explaining the export part later on. First, let's get into the details which was predefined over there. The terms and conditions, the subject to jurisdiction, and the place is reflecting pre-filled over here because I've already downloaded or printed this template before with these pop-ups of these entries, and that's the reason. Otherwise, it would be reflecting blank. And the number of copies that I defined at the time of customizing my template was 2. The first named as original and the second named as duplicate. So let's click on generate invoice. So all the colors that I wanted my template to show, all those details will be reflecting as per my convenience. You can always use or make the changes in the colors as per your requirement at the time of customizing those templates. And all these details are getting captured over here. As you can see, I had updated the GST against the first item only, and all those bifurcations are reflecting over here. Now the PO number and the PO date, for example, if in my general entry, if I come back to my entry of same, in my general tab, if I come and update the PO number over here as PO 001 and the date, for example, 26 January 2023, and hit submit, automatically again the same pop-up will appear in front of my screen with the same details capturing. And now if I click on generate invoice, it will show the PO number and the PO date fetching from the general tab. The above is the company details over here, as you can see, and these are the buyer details which will be capturing the party details reflecting over there. This would be my invoice number, which was my voucher number of the sale entry. Then comes the invoice date, the details of the item, the quantity, rate, and value, and the GST as per the details updated in the entry. Then comes the footer part of the bank details. Whatever bank details you have updated in your company master or segment master, all those details will be fetching from the print setup part. Then it will reflect the total value, accessible GST, and the total invoice value. These were the terms and conditions which we predefined in at the time of customizing invoice. So these are the basic details. This is basically as per my requirement or as per the user's requirement. I want to make some customizations in my template, which would require minor changes. For example, the coloring part, the background part, or probably the logo part. So over here, I've not updated the logo, but you can always update the logo from in your company master, and accordingly, it will be fetching over here. So all these details you can customize in your invoice itself, and you can just take out the print as per your requirement. So this was about the tax invoice. Now, what about the export invoice? Because as you can see, the moment I click or customize my template, automatically the export option from the drop down went away. So what about those? So basically my coloring or the customization of invoice will be as it is. It will be intact there. But again, we are giving two more options as export against LUT or export against payment of IGST. And by default, if these options do not apply in the entry, automatically my tax invoice get generated. So how the system is understanding these two options? Let's come back to the sale entry. So the first one, I have not updated any FX related or export related transaction. So this is the second transaction that I'm enabling over here. So as you can see, the moment if we click on the foreign party, I mean, for example, if I show you the party ledger that I updated as a foreign creditor, and the details of which if I show you quickly is this party is marked as foreign. So since this party is marked as foreign, so we can, I mean, automatically the moment if I click on the foreign party ledger, I will be asked to either select the export option over here, whether the transaction which I'm trying to update, it is against the payment of GST or it is against the export against the LUT part. So this transaction has been updated with the payment of GST, and the details of which if I show you the foreign exchange currency and the details have been updated over here. And these are the details of my item against which the FX value will get calculated automatically. And these are the GST part. Against both the items, I have updated the GST. So in the header, as you can see, the normal amount in INR and FX both are reflecting. Now let's generate the template for the same. So we can generate it from the entry edit transaction screen as well. So this was the payment against IGST. If I click on this radio button and click on generate invoice, the same template, the export invoice, the tax invoice is now replaced with the option name as export invoice, which is supply meant for export on payment of IGST. All the details will get changed as per the changes or the entry done in the RealBooks. As you can see, my currency In brackets, it is reflecting as USD, as in my FX details, I updated the currency as USD, and based on the rate, all these details will be reflecting in my template. Now over here in my footer box, you will be finding few more details capturing that what was the total invoice amount in INR, what is the conversion rate of USD, and accordingly the calculated value for total invoice value in INR and total taxable value and total tax value in INR. All these details will also get captured in the templates footer part as well. So again, the bank details and the terms and conditions are intact the way it was predefined in the template, and the total invoice coming in bold just to highlight that what is the exact total invoice, and the signature and the logo part will be getting captured from your company register or the segment master wherever applicable. So let's check one more type of transactions which we book, which is again, we will be selecting the foreign party, but this time we will not select the GST. We will be updating the transaction with export against LUT and updating the foreign currency the way we did it previously. So now let's click on the generate invoice option. This time it's automatically selected as export against LUT. Let's click on generate invoice. So again, without the GST bifurcations, all details are reflecting in my invoice. And at the top, it mentions at the supply meant for export under the bond of letter of undertaking without payment of IGST. So all these details, again, the INR value will be reflecting with the FX value in your invoice. All those details will get captured. Now you can again click, you can keep on customizing the invoice template as per your requirement. For example, for one voucher type, I updated this particular invoice. Like for second voucher type, like again, if I go to customize invoice, and this time if I select this option as the red one, if you see, if I'm selecting this option of sale invoice red structure, now I am finding few extra fields coming up into the scenario. As you can see, the highlighted fields, that's text 1 and text 2. Now what is text 1 and text 2? So these are few extra details or the additional details which you would like to capture in your template, but you don't have any specific fetching format or strategy to get it updated in your template. So for example, in my text one, if I update the field as properties, this can be any, I am updating it as properties over here. Like for example, properties, I'll update it in blocks. And I don't want the second field probably. In case if you want the second field, you can update it over here. But over here, I don't want the second field. So I can just skip this particular part. And now I will come to the template details part. This time, if I try to select this, since this is already assigned, so it will not allow me to again reassign those another template for this particular voucher type. Still, let's go ahead. Dynamic red template. And the number of copies, this time I'm putting it as 1 with name as original. And the T and C terms and conditions applied as per company norms. And now if I click on save. So it won't allow me because this template is already, in the sale template, it's already exists. The system shares me that the template already saved against this particular voucher type. So I won't be able to proceed against that particular voucher type. So let's change it to say probably sales and click on save. The template saves successfully. So now in my tag template, if I come up, I will be finding two types of template which is defined. One is against the name as dynamic sale template, which I did initially against the voucher name as sale. And the second one is a dynamic red template, which is assigned against the voucher type of sales. Now quickly, let's do one of fresh transactions against the voucher type of sales. So if I click over here and if I click on tomato, okay, I don't have any transactions. Let's check if we have few of them in our daybook. I will search the ledger as sales and give the date range from probably December, April. Okay, I have few of the entries coming up in. For example, if I'm trying to generate the invoice of this particular transaction. So my template name now reflecting is dynamic red template. The terms and conditions that I predefined in the at the time of customizing invoice, it is reflecting over here. The subject to jurisdiction would be over here as Kolkata. And this also I am updating it as Kolkata. And the number of copies again predefined. Now properties. Now this was something which I asked as a text box at the time of customizing my invoice. Over here, if I update the name as color, and if I click on generate invoice, let's check how does our invoice let's generate. So this will be the details it's reflecting. So this way we can always have the option of extra fields coming up over here, and accordingly the template will get generated accordingly. Now you are getting one more option of print batch name. Now, in case if you are creating any transaction over which under which you are generating or you're capturing the batch in your item details, you can always enable this particular option. Like you will be finding one more option coming as batch. If batch is applicable for that particular transaction or entry, accordingly, you can always click on this particular checkbox. And if I generate invoice, automatically the template will get generated with the batch details, whatever is entered in your books of accounts. So similarly, the way I did it for the sale template, we do have options coming up for invoice. Again, we can always customize as per the color that we require, and accordingly all those changes will be done. And you can always customize it, and after customization you can generate the template as per your requirement wherever applicable, although it will always give you the sample that how it will look at one go, and then you can change the colors, the logos, the way you as per your requirement. You can make all those changes for credit note, invoice, sale return, all these details. I mean, the way it is reflecting as a sample, you can always have a cross check, and accordingly you can predefine your template as per your requirement, instead of having that black and white general template which is predefined in our RealBooks financial model. So over here in the red template, all the 3 to 4 samples which you're seeing in front of your screen, 2 differences are there which are capturing. Like in this template, you can find some gate pass details which are getting captured. For the rest of them, few other details are getting captured. So as per your requirement and convenience, you can always customize your template and have a customized template for each and every sale voucher type, invoice voucher type, credit note, or sale return as per your requirement. So this was all regarding the customization of the sale template. Any questions related to this, please come up one by one. In case if we do not have any questions for the day, I would request everyone to use this feature as per your requirement. You can customize the template as per the requirement of for different voucher types. And in case of any difficulty or understanding this feature, you can always reach out to us on our support desk, and we'll be happy to help you out for that. So thank you so much for joining today. Thank you.